Hello and welcome to my first try of a vlog here on my Org in regards to one championship. Uh, I simply thought, well, one championship is getting bigger and bigger and more important and puts on shows all the time, but I barely see anyone talking about it. And since I go to those shows all the time when they're here in Bangkok, or follow them anyways and write about it on my Org, you can see that here. Why not also start a kind of a video content here where we can talk about all things one championship, simply because they're doing so many things right now, and I figured it could be interesting to get different opinions on here, and that's usually easier when talking rather than just in writing. So let's try this here. I try very hard to keep my accent in place. I hope you forgive me, and yeah, let me know what you think. So let's start things off with the recap from the previous, and I'm just looking down here on my laptop to see that I have all the bouts lined up to the latest one championship event that we had here in Bangkok yesterday night, Warriors of Light. I do wonder if one championship will ever run out of ideas in regards to how they call their events. But we had one championship, Warriors of Light, here yesterday at Impact Arena here in Bangkok, and it was, as always, lots of fun and a very, 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 very long event, as always. I'm not going to go into detail in regards to all the fights on the prelims, simply because I think, and no offense towards the fighters there, because there were some really cool fights, and I'm going to mention them in a second. But I think most people are not familiar with one anyways, so let's try to slowly start to explain the so-called main fighters on the main card before we start to actually also analyze the prelims in more detail. However, I do want to point out, actually, almost all the fights, like out of those 5 fights, 3 fights I thought were very interesting, or at least, well, they have all been very interesting. Some really nice highlight knockouts, so go check them out on a One Championships YouTube or Facebook page. They always post them right after. Janet Todd had a very impressive showing against, and I'm very sorry for having to read that, Wang Qinglong, with second round KO. Janet Todd really aggressive here, going out, showing her skills. I mean, if you're into Muay Thai, you probably know Janet Todd. She's been around for a while, beating lots of impressive opponents, but here the way she beat Wang Qinglong was really impressive, putting on the pressure right away. In the second round, her opponent just couldn't take it anymore. I think it was a combo landing and finishing with a leg kick. She threw that leg kick a few times before, and then eventually her opponent went down and the ref waved it off. So very impressive victory for Janet Todd, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what she'll do as she moves on here in one championship. There are lots of interesting possibilities on the horizon, of course. So let's see what Chatri and the guys at One Championship have in store for her. Another one, and I'm sorry again, I have to make sure that I actually read the name correctly. We had Super Leg Kyatmogao. This is the name that I know here from Bangkok. Super Leg trains out of Kyatmogao gym, which is a gym that's famous for producing lots of very, very good Muay Thai fighters. Most importantly, or most famously, probably Singdam. If you're into Muay Thai, you probably know Singdam, who also came out of Kyatmogao gym. So Super Leg is quite an interesting fighter, still quite young, and sometimes a bit careless. But here against, and that's what I'm looking at, Rui Botello, he put on a show. Botello too, though, so it was a nice back and forth. So it was not as if the Thai fighter was dominating everything here, but in the end, Super Leg's class shone through, and he landed really, really hard punches, threw a few very nice kicks. A few is an understatement. Threw lots of very nice kicks, and got the decision victory in the end. But it was a really nice back and forth here by both fighters, so they left it all in there. And Super Leg showed that he can actually win those tough fights, and is not just here to showboat, but actually to stay and to move forward in the division. The best bout of the preliminary card, probably for me at least, was, and I hope I pronounce it correct, Savas Michael, is it pronounced Michael? A fighter from Cyprus who's based now in Bangkok, who fights out of Pachin D Academy, which was a really famous Muay Thai gym here in Bangkok or in Thailand in general. And he fought Sing Tong Noi Por Telakan. So I started a second because I only know him as Sing Tong Noi, but I wanted to give props to the whole name, so Por Telakan. And the fun thing is that Sing Tong Noi now fights out of Evolve in Singapore. So the Thai fighter who fought in Thailand is actually based in Singapore, while the Cypriotic fighter is now based in Bangkok. Kind of interesting, I think. Savas Michael, way taller than Sing Tong Noi, like 10 centimeters, and it showed. It's really difficult if you're into martial arts, you know, like 10 centimeters is quite a lot. So overcoming those odds is really, really difficult. And but Savas Michael didn't only rely on his size. He said also his youth is very impressive. He's only 20 years old, but he's had like lots of fights already. He was very respectful. He did the Y towards Sing Tong Noi in this corner, like from the before it even started, and then just started to put it on him. And then wide after the first round, I believe, wide before the final round started. So that's the Y. So when I say wide, that's what he did to show respect. And he even did the wide between the rounds to his corner. And so he just put it on Sing Tong Noi. He was unstoppable. He showed really Thai style Muay Thai, what you could expect from someone living here. But it's always nice to see also like foreigners to not just go all like berserk and trying to use lots of power, which we see very often, but actually using the smooth Thai style Muay Thai with feints and everything. So that was a really impressive performance, because I personally haven't seen Savas Michael before, but now I'm really curious to see more of him. So that was a very impressive performance. Sing Tong Noi tried to not only hang in, because of course Sing Tong Noi, he's a very famous fighter. He of course can hang in there, but he tried to overcome the size difference then by moving in, moving closer, going to the body. Sing Tong Noi then tried to, of course, go in, move in, come closer, go to the body. It wasn't enough in the end, because Savas Michael just had good counters and was able to move away from the really hard kicks, punches that Sing Tong Noi would try to throw in later rounds. Great fight though by both. Sing Tong Noi really tried hard to get the knockout in the end, but Savas Michael was just too savvy. And so that didn't happen, and Savas Michael got the well-deserved unanimous victory. Well done, Savas Michael. I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of you in the future. Great fight, really great fight. If you're into Muay Thai, check this out. Then, and so let me make sure to get this right. Then the first fight on the main card was actually between Kazuki Tokudome, who's a Japanese fighter, as you can get from the name, and he fought Adrian Pang. One of the announcers said Pang, the other said Pang. Adrian Pang. I tried to use the middle thing here. And Adrian Pang is 40 something by now. He's very robust build, like very compact build. So not a very tall fighter, but very muscular, very compact. And he was just smiling all the time from after entering the ring to some 90s techno thing. What was it? Was it Firestarter or something like this? I'm sorry if I mix it up, because I got distracted by Tokudome's intro, because he came to the ring with Pitbull, and seriously, what's wrong with you? Anyways, the fight then was actually quite interesting, because Pang actually showed more aggression in the beginning, even though he's a smaller fighter, but he wants to stand and bang. He's a black belt, jiu-jitsu black belt, but he's like, nah, I'm gonna stand and bang here with the Japanese fighter who's bigger than me. Did quite okay the first few minutes in the fight. Tokudome then slowly found like reach, and this first round was like a bit of a back and forth. I'd say maybe a little bit more for Pang, but again Tokudome at the end actually found his reach and then touched him a few times. Second round then, nice start by both. Again aggression, Pang trying to move in, Tokudome using the reach, and then he hit, like, I believe it was an overhand right, and actually clipped Pang like quite heavily. They then had to stop it. The doctor checked on Pang and then waved it off because I believe the clip was right above the eye, so they couldn't stop the bleeding and said it's too much, and hence the stoppage, doctor stoppage in the second round. TKO victory for Kazuki Tokudome, who should find himself then, of course, on a higher place in the card as we move on. The next fight then was pretty interesting in terms of styles. Again, a Muay Thai fight between Zhang Chenglong, and he fought Panikos Yusuf, Zhang Chenglong from China, Panikos Yusuf from Cyprus again, both former Muay Thai world champions. Yusuf a little bit taller, Zhang with more power, more compact, and this you could see in the beginning that Yusuf actually is a more counter-oriented fighter, which was obvious, like I said, but still Zhang didn't move as much forward as everybody thought, and so Yusuf had to control the fight more or less, and then the pace slowed down a little bit. Yusuf with nice right kicks. Zhang countered a few times. Yusuf, however, controlled it. It was still a back and forth, so it's not a one-sided fight, but back and forth, not too fast-paced, not boring, but not too fast-paced. Yusuf with the cleaner shots, in my opinion. But then in round 3, Zhang just said, probably realizing he was down, just stood back on his rear foot, loaded up, and landed some very, very hard punches on Yusuf. Knocked him down once. Yusuf bounced back up right away, but you could see that he was actually a bit shook and was shaking while standing. 8 count continued. Few seconds later, Zhang again, left, right, knocking down Yusuf for a second time. You could see that he was really rattled. Then again, standing 8 count. It continues. Yusuf tries to hold on to Zhang to get into the clinch, to get close, which was the smart thing to do. But then he also decided to stand and throw and stand and bang, which I didn't really understood, because I would have given the 2 first rounds to Yusuf. So if he would have made it through with like just in the clinch or just buying himself some time, he might have won it. However, he tried to bang also, throwing some really wild haymakers. Zhang was like, yeah, sure, that's what I do. I can do that. He hit him harder. He didn't knock him down anymore, because this would have been it. It just led to Zhang landing more clear shots in the end, and hence getting the unanimous decision victory. Next fight was Pongsiri Mitsatit versus Dropin Catalan from the Philippines. Mitsatit from Thailand, Catalan from the Philippines, who's quite famous. He fights a lot for one championship. He's kind of like in a gatekeeper position, in my opinion. And Mitsatit just put it on him. That was I didn't expect that, because Catalan is a good fighter, obviously. But in this case, he just didn't have any answer from Mitsatit. Mitsatit went out, right at him, clinch, knee, more knees, knees to the gut. Catalan went down, got up again. Ref said, okay, let's go one more time. Mitsatit, same thing, right at him, knees, and then Catalan just went down, went out, and that was it. And he was lying on the ground. Couldn't do anything anymore. First round knockout. Mitsatit, impressive. Hasn't had to show much here, of course, but what he showed was aggression and that he can land the right shots, apparently. So let's see where this goes from here. Interesting to have actually a Thai MMA fighter doing well, because usually we don't see that many Thai MMA fighters here. They are usually doing it. Usually we don't see that many Thai MMA fighters here. They usually stick to Muay Thai or kickboxing. But Mitsatit here in MMA, good job. I think now he's 4-0, so looking very much forward to seeing what he will be doing. Rottang Chatmungnong versus Sok Thai, which is kind of funny, because Sok means elbow in Thai language, so his name is Elbow, and if you mispronounce his last name, Thai, Thy, when you say T, it's even funnier. Ask your Thai friends. But Sok Thai, okay, so Rottang versus Sok Thai. Sok Thai won his last fight, rather impressive, with lots of aggression. In this fight, he didn't stand a chance. Rottang, the new Thai phenom, 21 years old, almost 400 fights, I believe, 300 something fights. He was just pouring it on Sok Thai. I say it wrong too, Sok Tai. He was just pouring it on. Um, insane. Watch that fight. It's insanity. He just doesn't. He just does not stop. And Sok Tai's leg kicks. So leg kick, 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 leg kick. Oh, Sok Tai went down in the first round. I thought that might be over. He got back up and he was like limping and jumping on one leg. So respect in regards to his toughness, but that was just insane. Led to a second round TKO then for Rod Tang because he just couldn't take it anymore. It was leg kicks on us. That leg looked terrible, and I'm sure he can't walk for the next year. So Rod Tang wins and has his next opponent already set, because last week we saw Jonathan Haggerty winning the One World Championship, and after winning the championship, Haggerty actually called out Rod Tang, and Rod Tang said, "Yeah, sure. If the champ calls me out, I'm all for that. I want to take this championship back to Thailand." So next up, Rod Tang versus Jonathan Haggerty. That's gonna be fun. Haggerty with all those elbows from the top, and Rod Tang with those 7 billion leg kicks. Fun. I'm looking forward to that very much. After this, we had a quick fight between Shoko Sato and Mark Fairtex Avalado. I'm smiling a little bit because from someone who lives in Thailand, when someone gets announced now residing in Pattaya, you're like, yeah, in Pattaya, which is like the party area here. They do have great gyms, of course. There, it just sounds a bit fun. It's like when someone says, "Hey, based in Las Vegas," you're like, "Yeah, sure, you're training there all the time, right?" Yeah, sure. So, anyways, Shoko Sato defeated Mark Felix Abolado via second round TKO. Yeah, back and forth a little bit, but Sato clearly better in my opinion. Not a big surprise here as you watch the fight unfold that he actually got the stoppage there. The fight that I was looking forward to the second most was the co-main event. So well done, One Championship for placing it like this. It was Petdam Pitch India Academy. It's, if you don't know the names of the Thai fighters, you might remember Petdam as the guy with the crazy hair, always very colorful, and crazy intros. He also, I think his intro took like 10 minutes from walking down that ramp to the ring. He His nickname is, if you don't know, Baby Shark. So when he walks in, you always have like 30 seconds of the Baby Shark song. I hate you, Patchton. And then you see like usually someone wearing the Baby Shark costume. And then Patchdam appears, and this time he was wearing the Joker outfit, and he had a Joker choreography prepared to a Thai style Baby Shark themed song in Thai style though. The crowd went nuts, the crowd went crazy, and he was dancing, shaking his hips. Like, if you've ever been to Thailand, you know how those dances look like. So lots of fun for the audience from the get-go. Well done, Patchdam, entertain the crowd. So 10, 20 days later, Patchdam arrived at the octagon, and then it was off, and he fought against Elias Mahmoudi, and Mahmoudi did a very good job in bringing it to Patchdam. Mahmoudi also way taller than Patchdam, again almost I believe 10 centimeters. So Mahmoudi really tall. First time that Patchdam fought a taller opponent according to the commentary. So very interesting. Yeah, so Patchdam tried to play it cool at first, but Mahmoudi was going full blown power right away. He started, however, with an illegal elbow because it's kickboxing rules. In this case, it was kickboxing, not Muay Thai. In kickboxing, elbows are not allowed. First, I was about to say punch. First contact of the fight was an illegal elbow by Mahmoudi to Patchdam. Patchdam then had the chance to take 5 minutes recovery time. He only took one. It's like, no, okay, let's go. Mahmoudi very apologetic, so that's nice to see. And then it was on, and then Mahmoudi just brought it to Patchdam, and Patchdam really had to dig deep. The first 1-2 rounds even might have been for Mahmoudi. Then Patchdam was coming back, moving in. What you have to do when you fight a bigger opponent, going to the body, starting more frequently with the power kicks, trying to take Mahmoudi down. I think the next 2 rounds then probably for Patchdam. But in round 5, then Mahmoudi was trying to do a spinning kick, I believe. He was throwing spinning stuff all the time, but then as the rounds moved on, Patchdam had the timing down, and he was always just leaning back, moving out of the way. So he had a timing in the later rounds. And then when Mahmoudi tried to do a spinning shit, to quote John Wayne Parr, do something spinning again, the Patcham at the same time tried to throw a left kick, and as he throws the left kick, Mahmoudi tries to spin, and then it results in a really painful low blow from Patchdam on Mahmoudi. Of course, totally coincidence, so that was not planned by Patchdam. Mahmoudi went down. Doctor check 3-minute recovery time. 3-minute recovery time. Couldn't make it. The fight gets stopped at this point. And if more than half of the fight is over, I believe in one championship, then it will be scored by the judges. So then the judges had to score it, and Patchdam won by points and is now the one kickboxing champion. Congratulations, tough fight. They have to run it back eventually, in my opinion, because that finish was just unfortunate. Mahmoudi got the first 2 rounds. Patchdam clearly got the timing down in the later rounds. So that would have been very interesting to see like how those last few minutes would have played out. Who will put it all on the line? Who will let go of the tactics, the strategy first? So once Mahmoudi is cleared again, I think they should run it back, because it was a really interesting, really tough fight for Patchdam. Then the fight that I've been waiting for as a Muay Thai fan, Nong-O versus Hiroaki Suzuki from Japan, Nong-O from Thailand. And Nong-O legend, we're also fighting out of Evolve in Singapore now. Lord, that was just a clinic, a Muay Thai clinic by Nong-O against an opponent that was clearly stronger in terms of muscle mass, but Nong-O, watch the fight, insane. Nong-O with the right kick clinic, the insanity, not only leg kicks, but actually mostly to the body. Great timing there. Suzuki tried to block it, and you know, when a leg comes your way and you think you're gonna get hit in the face, you try to block the kick, but every time Suzuki tried to cover up his face, Nong-O would just go to the lats or somewhere lower, just somewhere around here. And after the first round, Suzuki was so red all over, like this area, insanity. But Suzuki kept coming, like he wouldn't stop. 5 rounds, the same thing for 5 rounds. Suzuki lands like 1-2 jabs, maybe like a little punch, grazes Nong-O. Nong-O comes back, 1 punch, jab punch, 1-2 kick, jab punch, 1-2 kick. Insane. How Suzuki didn't go down and didn't give up or anything, crazy. So mad props to Suzuki for sticking it out until the very end. But that was a clinic by Nong-O. And then last 2 rounds, he was not only going then to the body, he was like switching up, high kick, head kick, low kick, a few combinations, even the jumping knee in between, spinning, back fist, didn't land, but still looked nice. And then again, back to the kicks. So insanity, like Muay Thai clinic, perfectly executed by Nong-O. That's why he's one of the greatest fighters ever in Muay Thai, and rightfully the world champion at one championship. Well done, Nong-O. Overall interesting card, I believe. I do find the lack of MMA fights a bit interesting. I do understand that here in Thailand MMA is not that big, so in order to sell out like a huge arena, like Impact Arena, the biggest arena we have here, you need to put on shows that the audience wants to see, and that's mostly Muay Thai here in Thailand. However, I would want to see more MMA here, just to educate the fans a little bit more, maybe. Nevertheless, the fights that they put on were very good, great fights, lots of fun. Super long event, just like all MMA events are these days, but lots of fun, great event. I'm very much looking forward to the next event in Singapore, when like all those world champions are going to be in action. I believe even Sage Northcutt is making his debut there, so that's going to be fun. So long. If you like those videos, I try to improve things here, of course. Give me tips, shout out, and I promise I keep working on that accent. Stick with me until the next video. See you then.